It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go!
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
We're now joined in the interview room by the driver number 18 M&M's Toyota, Kyle Busch. Kyle is currently first in points, has clinched a spot in the chase, and will go into the chase seated in the number 1 position. Kyle, this is a track that you've won at before. I believe this is where you set the record for the youngest winning Cup driver at a track. Talk about your thoughts going into this weekend.
Thoughts for California are pretty good. You know, we've had some good success over here in the past few years, and you know, earlier this year with the Gibbs car, we finished 4th, I believe, so that was a good day, and it was a rain-filled event, so hopefully none of that for this weekend. But overall, looking forward to it. Hopefully obviously having the amount of the pressure off, because being in the chase, you don't have to worry about that. You can try to go out there and race for some more wins and see what you can come up with at the end of the day.
We'll open up to questions from the media. Again, please state your name and affiliation. We'll start here with Mike.
Mike Harris, AP. Kyle, what does being on probation mean to you?
It means you can't do anything like what you did last week again.
Can you go into that a little bit more, in terms of how you feel about that?
It's NASCAR's discretion at what they feel like would be the correct penalty to give a guy, and so I would say that they did what they felt was right in the instance of the 6 weeks probation, and it is what it is.
Jeff Gluck from NASCAR Scene. Obviously, probably everybody and their mothers declared the you and Carl thing to be a rivalry now. From your view, is it a rivalry?
We're friends, man. I even joke around with guys with myself, and that he's BFF Carl, man. We're best friends. So I don't believe it's a rivalry. I believe that we can still be friends and stuff like that, and have that relationship on the racetrack.
How are you friends? Are you going to go get pizza together?
Yeah, we might. I might text him later. We'll go get some In-N-Out burger. Oh wait, he doesn't eat that stuff probably. I don't know. Maybe salads.
We'll go back over here to Sean.
Hey, KB. Hey, what does exactly probation do to a driver, like out on the track? I mean, does it pull you back a little bit? How do you deal with something like that?
Well, I don't think it means that if you get into another driver and spin him out, then you're going to get suspended for a race. I think it has to do with the way that you got put on probation, which is if you do the same thing that you did again, then the repercussions for it are going to go up, and that'll probably suspension or something like that. So keep your post-race antics down to a minimum.
So it doesn't put you
I'd
on?
have to get the correct wording and verdict from NASCAR if I took out another driver when I get suspended for it, but I don't believe that's the case.
Kyle, Tim Kalishaw, ESPN. When the chase starts, you and Carl will have the extra 80 and 60 points. Do you think that's more significant, or the experience of winning all these races and giving the confidence you'll have from that, is that more significant than the points?
No, the points is the biggest significance. You just try to get as many as you can so you have a bigger head start, and they've been good at the past few weeks of catching up to us.
Okay, we've got Dustin, Jay, and then Matt.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Carl mentioned, he said last week, so this kind of started the bumping with the Richmond situation, the nationwide race. And looking at the tape, obviously that was a race where you had a lot fresher tires. You were coming up and you were certainly making your move. You were getting on those people up there. Do you remember much about that, and are you surprised that was such a significant situation, or do you recall that much about that situation at the tap?
No, I don't remember anything about that situation. I do remember me having fresher tires and coming up through there. I believe Denny was with me, Harvick, and Harvick and Carl stayed out. We got by those guys. I don't remember touching them, but I guess if I did, then that's the repercussions of Bristol, I guess, is what I get. So, the first thing that I think of when I look back at Bristol is what happened in the spring of 2007 when I was racing with Jeff Burton. He said he'd rather take a clean second-place finish than move somebody out of the way and get a win. So, to me, that's where sportsmanship comes from. That's where respect comes from. That's why I have the utmost respect for Jeff Burton in this sport. And, making my mistake at Watkins Glen was, I should have thought more a little bit about that move. But when racing Jeff, but it's just when things happen, I guess.
Jay.
Jay Hart, Yahoo Sports. Kyle, Jimmy was just in here, and everyone wants to ask him what probation means, and he said it's just a word, but it sort of depends on which kind of probation you are. It depends on what happens in the hauler. It could be a slap on the wrist probation, or it could be a grab you by the shirt probation. So, do you care to tell us which probation you're on? Is it a slap on the wrist, or is it a grab you by the shirt probation?
Couldn't tell you.
I
don't know.
Maybe just tell us a little bit about what happened then inside the hauler.
Have you ever heard of anybody explain what happens inside the hauler?
No. Thought I'd ask, though.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll go to Matt.
Hey Kyle, Matt Calkins, Press Enterprise. What was your initial reaction to Tony Stewart saying he was going to start his own team, and how has that affected Joe Gibbs racing this year?
My initial reaction was, him starting his own team. Yeah, that'd be different. But him joining Haas CNC Racing, that's different yet. So, him giving half the ownership or whatever he's getting and all the stuff that goes along with it. I'm not sure of all the details, but it's good for him, I guess, to have his name be a part of the team and for him to be able to get some of the. I don't know if he gets any extra money or whatever from that, but he gets his way of staying in the sport a lot longer than him just being able to retire and step out. He'll have a team that he can have ownership of, and when he's old and into his 70s and 80s and whatever, and still being Tony Stewart. But the fun part about all that is that he gets to enjoy what he loves to do most, and that's racing, and he's still going to be a part of Sprint Cup racing for a long time. As far as what it's done to Joe Gibbs Racing, it hasn't really done anything. These guys are here to work as hard as they can, as long as they can, and do what they can to win races. And so those guys at the shop have done a great job being able to do that. And, I kind of feel bad for Tony that he's missed out on a few chances to win races due to bad luck or different circumstances. But he's been fast, and he's definitely been, one capable of being able to win races. It just hasn't worked out this year. Hopefully he can get to victory lane before the year's out.
Kyle, Brian Nelson with MRN Radio. You mentioned that the 99's been gaining on you this last few weeks. As you gear up for the chase, have you guys kind of identified or pinpointed some things you need to iron out before we get down that stretch?
Besides they have a little bit better race cars than us at some times, and no, not really. I mean, they've caught up to us the past 2 weeks, but we finished second. So it's hard to put that into trying to become any better. I mean, there's only one guy, I guess, that you're trying to beat the past two races, but it's that one guy that's going to haunt you probably the rest of the year. So all we can do is try to do our best and come up with some better packages to end the year out strong.